We are live here at EMO in Milan 2021. Now, it's quite obvious where we are actually, isn't it? On the Fanuc stand here in Hall 7. Now, I've got to say, I'm here with Mark. Mark, it's already been a busy show, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, isn't it just nice to be back at a show? I mean, it's been 18 months, but yeah, it's been really, really busy so far.
In fact, we're going to tour the stand in today's show. And we were a little bit concerned a minute ago because of the amount of people that were around. So it could be a little bit bumpy along the way, and throughout the stream we might stop and start or put some overlays over the top when we go from technology to technology. But there's so much to see. Now, this event is actually classed as One Fanuc. And we're going to find out exactly why that is. Now, we're going to start this stream today by talking to Mr. Tanzawa, who's the president of Fanuc. Mr. Tanzawa, nice to see you. How are you doing?
Welcome to the Fanuc booth. We are doing fine. And today we have so many customers here, and we are very happy. Also, we show that our latest technology all around our booth.
Okay, now, could you tell us really what the theme of the show is for you and what's important? What are you looking to get from it?
Conceptually, we try to show the benefit of the customer. So in the past, we push our product. That was our style. But this time that we try to demonstrate all our product from the viewpoint of customer, how customer can get the benefit from our products. That's our concept.
And I'm quite interested to hear from you the sectors. What's the main drive for Fanuc with the sectors?
Okay, of course that this is AMO and machine tool show, so we are working with our customer machine tool builders, but also we are looking for building relationship with the end customer. And if you look at on the back side, we show the handling of electric vehicle and the handling of battery and so on. And even for the machine tool side, we are getting a lot of the inquiry for the new area. So that we wanted to focus on those new areas which will grow in the future.
Now, this stream is going to be open for around about an hour, so if you've got questions or comments that you want to make, please write whatever social media platform you're watching this on. Mr. Tanzawa, is this the biggest or the largest stand here at EMO?
I think so. And we, in the planning time, we wonder if we should exhibit or not, or squeeze and so on. But we decided to show this size. This is 1,300 square meters, probably one of the biggest. We wanted to demonstrate that the Fanuc is here to support the customer, and we have full of the new products. So this is not enough.
And does it surprise you with the amount of people that are making the journey to EMO?
Yeah, actually that not many people could come from Japan or Asia, but as you can see that we have enough customers, and we are very happy. So that I think the customer wanted to visit EMO physically and see the product physically, or they have enough passion to come here.
So what is the highlights for the people watching? What are they going to see in today's stream? Tell us some of these new products that are here.
Yeah, just behind this is a new 1,000 kilo payload robot, a little bit small, but powerful enough. And also we have a so-called robo machine, our machine tool, Robo Drill, Robo Cut, and Robo Shot are completely new model this year. This is a model change year. And also we show quite a lot of the CNC functions which give a benefit to the customer. And last but not least, we display a lot of the IoT solution which provide good benefit, cost saving or quality improvement. Really, that's proven at the customer side. Not theory, not the concept hanging in the air, but we are down to the earth and providing the benefit to the customer. Those are the display here.
What is One Fanuc? Can you just describe that before we leave you?
Okay, One Fanuc means that the Fanuc is strong in that the controller for the machine tools, but now that the demand is more and more robotization for the machine tools, so we provide the solution that One Fanuc combined together. And particularly, we are working to do the control of robot from CNC and so on. So One Fanuc package will benefit the customer. So I hope that you enjoy.
That's very good, and we're going to see a lot of that as we travel around the stand. Now, at the end of the stream, we'll be sitting down with Craig, and we'll be talking about IoT, and that's when we'll be answering all of your questions and comments. So if we don't answer them throughout the stream, then that's the reason, and that will be in around about probably 40 minutes' time. Mr. Tanzauer, thank you very much. Enjoy the show.
Yeah, Craig Taylor is very, very passionate of IoT, so it could be long, but please enjoy the talking with him. He will bring all sorts of the value. I hope that you enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, so let's move on. You'll see a lot of bodies on the stand, which is always a good thing. First up, we're going to talk to a gentleman about the robots that you can see here. We shall, if you're okay to, it's Robert. We're going to talk to you a little bit about the robots, or it's yourself, Manuel. Yeah. Apologies, but I did actually speak with you yesterday as well, didn't we? Could you maybe tell us for our audience who you are and what your role is here at Fanuc? And if you want to remove the mask for a minute, that would be helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, so who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, my name is Manuel Ebner, and I'm manager of the European Sales Coordination Department for Robotics at Fanuc Europe.
Okay, and what have you got on show here? What are people really impressed to see?
Yeah, I'm finally happy to show you our latest development on the big payload robots here, that big boy with 1-ton payload and more than 3 meters reach. So we're really happy to introduce it finally to the audience here.
And when I look at the robots that you have, I mean, a lot of people will know you for the car builders, effectively. And one thing I've noticed is that not only have you got an electric car, but I didn't realise the size of a battery in a car.
Yeah, batteries is actually really an emerging market, and you see it's bulky parts, it's heavy parts. We all know batteries are heavy, so therefore that's the right robot for the right application area.
But we talk about this stand as having sort of real-life applications. Is this something that you would see in industry? You know, a car battery being moved around a manufacturing plant?
Yeah, that's actually a real example from the industry. So what we're seeing here is to move the battery packs even from one level to the other. So that's the reason why that robot is even able to do the backflip. So that really helps you to move the parts from one level to the other, or to connect different stations.
That sounds like him on a Saturday night, a backflip. What do you mean by that? What's happening with a backflip?
It's exactly what you're seeing right now there. So this is really unique in that big robots, to be able to move the upper arm backwards without moving the J1, means the base axis. And that really helps you in terms of cycle times, in terms of flexibility in design of the lines. That's a real big advantage here.
And there are some other robots that are new here at the show, aren't there, that we'll see in a little while. One of them is the LR model, which is quite a small, compact unit, is it? Could you tell us maybe about that?
Yeah, the LR10 is what we have seen yesterday. That is a super fast new robot in the small robot payload class, typically used for machine tending applications. It's a fully enclosed robot, which definitely helps when entering the machine tools, for instance. So we're really happy to show that new developments here.
And finally, we're talking about automotive, but I presume this new robot is not necessarily just for the automotive sector, is it?
Of course not. You can also imagine that robot for big machine tending applications as well. If you want to move heavy pellets into the machines, then this is the right one. It has a small footprint, so you can also react in the design of the cells to that new requirements.
And this 2000, is this the biggest robot you do with the heaviest payload, and what can it carry?
This is absolutely the biggest 6-axis robot available on the market. Yeah.
In the world?
In the world.
Excellent.
Not kidding here.
That's probably a good place to finish. Manuel, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us. We're going to move on around the stand. There you go.
Well,
robots.
Do you reckon that could hold you?
Well, I'd like to think so. Following the fact I've lost a lot of weight recently, we should be all right. We're going to catch up with this gentleman next, Rolf. Hello. Good morning, Rolf.
Hi, Rolf.
Rolf, could you maybe introduce yourself and tell us what you do here at Fanuc?
Hi, my name is Rolf, and I'm responsible for the customer service, and my position is the business development manager for customer service. And here we really promote our excellent service also to our customers. That's what we do.
It's a massive part, isn't it, of industry, making sure that you keep, not just selling them a product, but making sure you keep them satisfied. There's so much we could talk about, but we haven't got masses of time. But I did want to touch on what you've got behind you, because this is one of your latest things, isn't it? Could you explain?
Yeah, that's Fanuc Assisted Reality. So that's a kind of video remote solution we provide to our customers. So as you can see here in the video, there's a problem, and then you can directly use the tablet, the smartphone, for even PC, or if you want to, also the glasses. It's also available. And then you can have a direct call with our customers, and you can see what the customers are, what's happening on site.
We would like to think that Fanuc's products don't break down, but sometimes the customer does have accidents. Is this what this is designed for?
That's to help our customers, because our main goal is to reduce downtime for our customers, because customers, they buy our products because they want to produce their products. And so we want to really reduce downtime, have more uptime, and with this we have some success stories where we could help customers within 24 minutes. And that the machine was running again, and come on, that's absolutely great.
We're going to hear from a Fanuc customer a bit later in this stream who is actually telling us a story, but I'm not going to spoil it because it is about the response time that Fanuc have. It's been terrific to speak with you, Rolf. Just a few more words maybe on what you've got there, which says 271 locations around the world. Could you just describe what that's highlighting and detailing?
Yeah, and the highlight in detail is we want to show what we really have to our customers. So it's just proven, and we show only numbers which are really proven. My favorite is really downtime of 26 hours, because downtime explains everything. You talk about parts availability, response time, and so on. I think, and that's the main message we want to tell our customers.
Although you have Fanuc, the great thing about Fanuc, you talk about One Fanuc, is it's whether it's the drives, the controls, the hardware, the software, it's all yours, isn't it? So you should be, one of the most reliable products out there, because there's no third parties involved in a lot of instances.
Yes, exactly. So we are taking care about all the things, and also we get lifetime maintenance. So as long as you use our products, we support. And that's also a very, I would say,
a good point to end on. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Don't forget about the questions, Paul.
Yes, absolutely. So if you've got any questions towards the end of the stream, so that'll be in about half an hour's time probably, we'll be answering those questions with Craig. Put them on the social channel or wherever you're watching this, which might be on YouTube or LinkedIn
Thanks, Rolf.
or Facebook.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Rolf. Enjoy the show. So we're now going to move into what is a fascinating area of technology these days, and actually it's very busy now. We're going to try and catch up with a colleague. In fact, he's perfectly positioned. And if you want to come over this way, this is I'll tell you. Can you explain for our audience your position and who you are, Andy?
Yeah, hi Paul. Yeah, my name's Andy Myhill, and I'm head of factory automation sales for Fanuc in Europe.
Okay, now I'm going to sort of shovel us round to if you go that way, Mark, a bit, so we can get Andy, because what I want to do, Andy, is if you can have your back towards that wall there, I want to be able to go through what the digital twin is, because this is a big area for Fanuc now, isn't it? Could you describe what we've got behind us and what people are interested in?
Well, if we start on this side, Paul, basically we're showing our digital twin solution for, first of all, designing the machine. So we use our new CNC Guide 2 software with our PC programming tools and configuration tools to actually virtually design the machine. Then we've also got our Robo Guide software working together with the CNC Guide, where we can actually virtually automate the machine through to the actual CNC and servo products to construct the machine. And then finally, once the machine's built, we're then optimizing it with the servo tuning software. So we take the whole concept from digital design through to actual machine construction. And then behind me, we're showing our digital twin solution to basically optimize the part that we're producing before actually machining, so we can get the best surface finish and most accurate component before we actually cut metal. So we're using our tools to show that.
Andy, this can be quite scary to a lot of engineers, can't it? But how do you sort of address the needs of some of the smaller manufacturers actually trying to use a lot of these solutions?
Well, I mean, for the smaller guys, we see like the tool path optimized software, the surface estimation software. Those are really, really good tools. They're PC-based tools, so easy to use. So as I said before, it basically reduces the time on the machine, so the guys are able to use the software to produce the best actual component they can without actually wasting material as well.
This is it's fascinating to me, because I mean, weren't your machines or aren't your machines and technologies fast enough as they are, and they get rid of or they reduce cycle times as it is, don't they? Let alone with introducing these factors into it. They'll be making parts in no time whatsoever, won't they? So
yeah, that's true, Paul. Yeah, I mean, but there's always room for improvement, and we just obviously want to sort of give our customers, the machine users, the products to encourage them to sort of continue to use Fanuc CNC on their machine tools.
Okay, so let me just look at this in layman's terms, in a sense. What's the difference between a digital twin and CAD-CAM and the CAM side of things, just so people can understand where one starts and where the other finishes?
I mean, the CAD-CAM is obviously used to produce the part program based on the component, and then we take that data and basically then optimize the program and indeed the settings of the machine to produce that part as efficiently as possible, really.
And do you have real-life examples where companies have come to you recently and said, you know, here's applications, this is where I need to improve things to get the parts done faster, and this system does that for you?
Yeah, we do that all the time, Paul. Yeah, we've
without cutting metal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We've got a whole department, our European technical support team, that are there to support all of our customers in Europe, and yeah, you know, that's something we do continuously. Yeah.
And when you sort of look at this technology, from when you sell a complete concept, is this technology really learnt from your existing customers?
Yeah, of course. We respond to what our customers need, you know, and yeah, you know, we listen carefully to what the market wants, and we're continually developing our products accordingly. Yeah, so for sure, yeah.
The One Fanuc, which is a message, we keep coming back to it in this show, because this is what this is about here, isn't it? And look at all these people that are interested. Well, I tell you what strikes me as well is the youth here. I feel quite comfortable amongst this. Maybe you don't, I don't know, but it's been a good show so far, isn't it? And this does attract a lot of attention. And this One Fanuc means everything's coming together, and this is a perfect illustration of it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've been sort of trying to promote One Fanuc for a number of years now. You know, we've got the different product lines, the robots, CNCs, the robo machines, and we're just trying to put everything together and show, really, if you look around the stand, you'll see the products are mixed all over, and we're really trying to focus on solutions for end users where, you know, they can see how to use our products, whatever they be, really.
Really good, brilliant. Thank you very much, Andy. Enjoy the rest of the show. We're going to carry on our
Yeah.
tour now, if we can make our way through these. Thank you very much, Andrew.
Like you say, it's really good to see young learners effectively coming to these shows, isn't it?
And don't forget, questions, comments, put them in the channel wherever you're watching, and we'll be addressing them at the end of the stream, probably in about half an hour's time, I would say. Also, don't forget, November the 1st to November the 5th in the UK, Fanuc are holding an open house where, once again, we'll be streaming that live. There'll be panel discussions, and a lot of what we're talking about today will be on show there as well. So that's a date for your diary, November the 1st to November the 5th. So we make our way through the crowds.
Some of the highlights here, though, Paul. I mean, obviously, where we're going now is more really of your sort of cup of tea, isn't it? Really, you love this technology, and I know you're going to run through some of the new concepts for our viewers.
Yes, we are, and this is where we're going to start actually. This is a Robo Drill, and I've seen similar things to this in industry. And what you've really got here is the machine making a part. The robot is loading and unloading the components from the machine, but you've also added another process into it, and this is to measure the component. Now, the beauty of this is it's all done in one process, so you're measuring the part. If there's any discrepancies, any errors, or something's incorrect, it can, of course, load it back into the machine and then correct it.
And in-process measurement is becoming more and more. It gives an opportunity for the operator to be working on another machine, I suppose.
It does, yeah, it does. It's all about these days. And what you'll see as we walk around the stand is everything is about one. It's all about all coming together. Every single machine has automation with it. So whereas before you might have gone to a show and seen a Robo Drill without a robot, it's very unusual to see that now. They want to show how not only quick and productive these machines are, but how you keep them going unmanned, which is really what you need in today's industry.
Hence One Fanuc, isn't it? What we're going to see here today, you know, in this part of Fanuc stand, is the collaboration, isn't it? And working with other suppliers as well.
Yes, absolutely. Now, what I learned about this machine earlier as well is there's 5 different spindles you can have on this machine. You can either have a high speed, high torque, high performance. So depending on what you're actually looking to achieve from the machining will depend on obviously what control you go for. And actually from 0 to 10,000 RPM, this spindle can get there in 0.13 of a second. That's 0.13 of a second. I mean, it's incredible. And again, it's a perfect illustration of reducing, even the reduction of chip-to-chip times and stuff on these BBT30 as well, these machines now. So,
and where do you think this fits into the industry?
I think this is, as we tour the stand, we're going to see smaller Robo Drills, we're going to see even a bigger Robo Drill as well. But really, it's a perfect general subcontractor's machine, an equipment manufacturer who's looking to work in the automotive demanding industries that wants to keep the spindle turning. These machines don't just cut aluminium, and we say this so often. They cut stainlesses, titaniums. With their high-power spindles, they're more than capable of doing that these days with their BBT 30 spindle. So let's move along. We may catch up with someone and talk about the Robo Drill in a little while.
Now, as I say, again, this is a brand new launch, isn't it?
This is. I'll move to this side so the camera can see the robot. I'm going to grab this gentleman here actually. Is it? It's Jasper, yeah? Jasper, are you okay to just take your mask down a minute and just give us a few words? Let's move you so your back is towards the robot there. Jasper, could you just tell us who you are and what you do here at Fanuc?
So I am the technical support engineer for Fanuc Europe, and I mostly take care of robotics in that sector.
Okay, now what have we got behind us here? Now, Manuel told us earlier this is one of the new technologies, isn't it? What's different and what's good about this LR, mate?
So this is an LR10IA-10. This is a prototype robot which we are showing for the first time at this fair. It is a fully enclosed 10-kilogram robot with 1.1 meter reach, which covers the niche that we currently could not cover. So it's the perfect robot for load-unload applications of, let's say, slightly larger machines.
Gasper, when you look at the technology on show here, what's the main benefit this to a customer? What does this really give them back?
So the robotization, so the robot allows us to simply load and unload machines more reliably, faster, and it basically offers us the opportunity to increase the productivity of the customer's plants.
What I notice about this, and this is what's interesting, is firstly the speed of it, which is, it's like lightning, isn't it? It's incredible. But also the fact that if you had two machines here, one either side of the robot, it's a very compact area, isn't it? Was that one of your missions, to make the robot very, very, not just agile, but very small in its footprint too?
Of course. So the robot is very small in its footprint, and it also has a very good work envelope with a very good backflip capability. So it's possible to unload two machines in a very tight space. So it's possible to load one machine and then backflip the motion into the other machine, which allows to save the cycle time at the same time.
And I was reading a little bit of the spec. This is actually waterproof as well, isn't it?
Yes, it's an IP67 robot on all axes, which means it's fully waterproof and it can really work in an industrial environment in machines with cutting oil and water without any problems.
What about getting this interface to the machine? How scary is this for some people? Do they look at it and go, robotics, I've got to put an opening door on there, I've got to interface it. Is it complicated or is it easy to get going, the industrial side?
It is really quite easy to get it going. You need, of course, a little bit of preparation in the design of the cell, but once that's done, the actual interfacing is very, very simple. It only requires a software option, and the basic communication can be set up in a couple of seconds without any issues.
We've travelled the world looking at machine tools and installations, and it's amazing how many companies are selling machine tools now with added automation, whether it's their own or whether it's using, let's say, a Fanuc robot. Are you seeing more integration and collaboration with machine tool builders?
Yes, this is one of our goals. We want to collaborate, and we believe that the robotization of machine tools is one of the most important directions we should go to in the future.
What we want to do now, I don't know what your knowledge is like, this is a bit of a gamble, this one, but do you know much about what we've got over here with the pick and place?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not the correct colleague to ask about this, but...
have you got any, I mean, you probably know more than we do if we just wander over here.
We could take...
Okay, we'll take this young lady if she's... Yeah, that's fine. If she's available. We can have a look at this because I find this fascinating as well. This is an industry that we're not necessarily dealing with a lot of the time. but we're seeing a pick and placing of parts here, but we're seeing a synchronization of the robot with the conveyor. Hello, it's Ines, I believe. Yeah, if you want to just step in there, Ines. Do you want to just take your mask down for a second, if that's okay? So, Ines, could you just introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you do at Fanuc?
My name is Ines Kutter, and I'm working in the European technical support, and my field of expertise is those robots who do like picking application, handling parts, packing parts, palletizing.
Okay, I'm going to move this way so the camera can see it as well. Mark, if you just step back, or come this way as well, actually, Mark. We can both be this side so the camera can see the robot there. What's the highlights to this then? What's actually happening? Can you describe?
So we have two robots who are generally often used for picking and placing parts on conveyors. And we have a special software tool which is called the IR Pick tool, which enables those two robots to follow the parts on the conveyor and picking them. So it's basically really hard to do this without, because the parts are constantly moving. So we're enable the robot to follow.
So depending on the customer's needs, I presume you can modify this quite a lot, depending on the product it's actually picking up.
Yes, actually. You can modify conveyors if you have like a linear conveyor, if you have a circular conveyor, if you have a servo conveyor. If you want to use the vision system from us, you can also use external ones, but that's more complicated than to implement. So we generally recommend to use the vision system that Fanuc provides. We have here the 3DV sensors, which can basically really easily integrate it into the system, connect with the hardware. Software setup is also pretty easy, teaching the parts how they look like, and then the camera system will always search for the specific part on the conveyor, communicate the position and the orientation of the part to the robots, and the robots will be able to pick them precisely.
That's a lot of information, isn't it?
Yes.
Ines, I want to just ask you, and we were going to split this stream up and pause throughout it, but it's looking like there's so much to see that may not happen. So keep tuned. Questions will be answered at the end of the show. Come this way, Ines. We will have a Q&A with Craig at the end of the show. This is an integral part of what we've just seen, isn't it? What's happening here?
Yes. So basically we have here the vision runtime. That's what the robot sees at the moment, those two robots. So we have two different sensors, as you can see on the pictures as well. One has a bigger field of view, one has a smaller field of view. And there you can see practically the parts on the conveyor, how they get seen by the robot. So with the green frame, you can see always when a part is detected by the vision system. And down there you can also see like the position and the orientation of the robot.
Okay, so what would happen if this was incorrect, or this was wrong? The profile was wrong and it spotted, or it couldn't spot it. Would it just not pick one up? How would that work?
Yeah, basically it wouldn't pick up, or it would recognize something wrong, basically, and try to pick some random shape or something if you don't teach it correctly, or if the light is insufficient, or then it could also happen that the pick point basically is wandering.
Yes, I know what you mean. This has been brilliant insight. Do you know much about the robot that we've got to the left of us there?
Yes, I also know some about this.
Come this way then, Ines. We will cut to a break very, very shortly, but just before we do, just tell us a little bit about this one then.
Okay, also using a vision system here with a 6X robot, the R2000 ID. Which is a robot generally likely to be used in the automotive industry or for welding applications.
It's got no wires in it or something. There's a hollow out.
Yes,
is that what
yes, it has a hollow wrist where you can put the wires inside. So, for example, if you weld in a car, then you always have very complicated arm movements. And if you have this hollow wrist, you have to don't have to think about how the wires are going to influence those movements. So it's easier.
Hollow wrist. Have you ever heard of that one, Mark?
Say that again?
Hollow wrist. That's what it's called.
No comment. Does this all...
So not just the wrist, the whole arm is like hollowed out like this.
Does this also work with a vision system?
Yes, it also has a vision system. This black box you see there is also a 3DV sensor, a bigger one than we have compared to the other application over there. It has an even bigger field of view because we have even bigger parts here to handle, so we need a bigger field of view.
Ines, thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of the show. Let's go this way. Keep those questions and comments coming in. As I said, we will cut to a break shortly, but before we do, Mark, Didn't you used to have one of these cars?
No, I think it was an insurance fraud. It was I think it was two cars basically actually welded together.
Okay. Well, what we can see here is a collaborative robot working in conjunction with a human being, potentially. Now, you're going to give us an example of what happens here, aren't you, Mark?
Well, let's say that Paul Jones has crashed his car again. He needs a new light. So therefore, obviously, the robot is actually picking up the part. But if you accidentally, it bumps into you on resistance, it stops. So, this is where it's very much a collaborative robot, because you can start the program again. So long as you're out of the way, you can start again. So obviously when you go to crash number 2 the next stage...
Do you remember when we first met? What was wrong with my car when we first met?
Wing mirror was hanging off.
That was some years ago. Now, this is iPad. This is very, very easy to program as well. I'm not going to do it here live at the show, but we will see a little bit later on an example of how these are programmed. Touchscreen, very intuitive, walks you through the process. So we will be seeing that a bit later on the stream.
We must say that this is not just about the robots. These are on a lot of the Fanuc products, aren't they?
Absolutely. Very, very easy to use and works in conjunction with humans. We are now going to go to a very short break for a couple of minutes. When we come back, we'll be looking at RoboShot and we'll be looking at RoboCut and more Robo Drill machines. We want your questions. We want your comments. We will address them at the end of the stream, which will probably be in about, 20 minutes, 30 minutes time. But we'll be back in a couple of minutes. So we're back. We're here at EMO 2021. We're on the Fanuc stand in Hall 7, and this really is a fabulous stand, one to come if you're here at EMO in Milan this week. Now, the next topic we're going to talk about is this machine here, the Robo Nano. Before we do, in about 15 minutes' time, we're going to have a question and answer session. We've got plenty of questions coming on. We've just done a poll on YouTube as well, and we've asked for the percent, or how many people have used a Fanuc product or not used one, and 62% of people have used a Fanuc product, would you believe? So more have than haven't. Would you like to introduce yourself, Gianluca, and tell us what we're seeing here?
Yes, sure. I'm Gianluca Tristo. I work in Fanuc Europe and technical support engineer for this product. It's Robo Nano.
When you look at this type of technology, I'm looking at some serious numbers here. What does the actual machine do and how accurate is it?
Yeah, so we have the machine has a resolution that is impressive, 0.1 nanometer. This is the minimum step increment that we can command on the machine with NC programs. And this is absolutely necessary when we want to achieve a very high surface finish and form accuracy. This machine is used for diamond machining of optical components. And basically, with diamond tools, we are able to obtain and finish very high-end products and components.
Is it actually milling? What's it doing?
We can do milling, turning, and scribing. What you see now here is a scribing process, similar to scraping, if you want, maybe, where the tool is just driven along the tool path,
okay.
And the material is removed mechanically.
But who's using this, though? I mean, who would need such a terrific or tremendous surface finish on a part? Where's the industry?
There are more and more applications for this technology. The most typical could be maybe in automotive, even if in the latest years the sector was a bit struggling. But as you see, maybe later you can have a look at the samples.
Maybe these are a good point, Gianluca.
Exactly.
If you could just tell us what these ones are, because this is representative.
We can see here, for instance, in this cabinet, we are showing some samples in automotive industry. We have head-up displays. And we have also front lamp for automotive. LED lighting could also be a good application for automotive.
Let's have a look at this watch part.
The watch part also, it's a nice industry, in the watch industry. You see here the bezel that is finished by milling, by Robo Nano, and also holographic effect that could be used for instance, a logo on the watch part, and also for counterfaction, to avoid counterfaction, of course.
It's not as nice as his Rolex, though, is it?
Let's see, that could be an interesting application to make these very expensive luxury watches, because of course it's an expensive machine, but it's adding high value to every part that is machined with this machine.
And you're looking at molds as well. I mean, I presume if you was say optical, so a manufacturer of lenses, for instance, I presume that's what this machine's for.
Absolutely, we can do mold inserts for optical components, as you can see in the next cabinet over here. Here we have 3 small lens molds that are used in injection molding, especially with the RoboShot, of course. We have a smaller one with spherical surface. The best surface quality that we have achieved here is 0.4 nanometers, so sub-nanometer roughness by turning. So in this case we are using a different machine than what you have seen before. In this case it's a lathe machine that is smaller and less expensive, and specifically designed by Fanuc for this kind of components.
How many of these have you got installed around the world?
This is a difficult question to answer.
Is it a fairly new product?
We have 20 years of experience in Japan. But Japan was keeping this product for the domestic market for a long time, and we just started recently selling overseas, so especially in Europe, USA, and in other countries. So at the moment the numbers are not so high because of this, but we are preparing especially our support structure, service,
to go
knowledge.
around it, which you need to, absolutely.
Yeah. So
but saying that, obviously walking around the Fanuc stand, this has been really popular, hasn't it? There's been quite an audience.
I think every tool maker coming, or by the mold maker coming here, is always very impressed to see the quality that you can achieve with the CNC machine without polishing. And they have a lot of questions, and we are very happy to explain to them. Of course, most of the time they say, okay, this machine maybe we have to consider, it's an important investment, but they are very impressed, something they didn't see before. And
that's good. It's good. Yeah. All right, well, let's move on. Thank you very much for
Gianluca.
your time.
Thank you very much.
So as I keep saying, if you've got questions about this technology or anything that you're seeing here on the Fanuc stand, then get them to us, because in about 10-15 minutes we'll be addressing those with the president as well as Craig. Now, we're going back into the heart of the stand as well now, and we're going to be talking, we're going to be looking at technology, the Robo Shop. I'm actually going to talk to this gentleman here. Andy, do you mind taking your mask off? Good to see you, Andy, here at the show. Are you enjoying EMO?
Yeah, very good, very good. Nice and busy today.
It is, isn't it? And it's good to be back at an event at last, isn't it, after all this time?
Yeah, it has. It's been a long time. Obviously difficult conditions to get everything up and running, but it's nice to actually see everybody coming through the doors. Okay, COVID-safe environments a little bit, but...
Can you explain who you are and what your role is at Fanuc before we talk about technology?
Yeah, so I'm the head of sales for RoboShop. The name's Andrew Armstrong, so I'm looking after our plastic injection molding equipment and supporting all our subsidiaries across Europe.
And when you look at this concept you've got here, it's not just the machine, is it, that you're demonstrating?
No, it's not. Every aspect of the Robo machines and the Robo Shop being one of them, we're bringing in elements of automation. You know, Fanuc produce a huge range of robots, as I guess you've seen on our booth already, and it's about bringing machines and automation together to give customers more solutions in their production environment.
And for those that don't know, I mean, it's important to stress as well, there'll be loads of people watching this that have not seen the RoboShop. This is an injection moulding machine, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it's an all-electric injection moulding machine. Some of our competitors, hydraulics, hybrids, but we are purely an all-electric machine, and this is producing a metal injection moulded part, so not a straightforward thermoplastic part.
Okay, what we'll do is we'll take a walk round the back, because we'll be able to see that part, won't we? If you come with us to watch the bodies as we go around here. This is another brilliant illustration of what Fanuc are doing here when it comes to the one Fanuc and putting everything together, isn't it? Can you explain what's happening here, Andy?
Yeah, sure, Paul. So this is really what we call our QSSR solution. So quick and simple startup robotization. So standard product robots interface simply to the molding machine. The software communication is already installed in both. It's our own product, so it's a seamless communication between the two. And this gives a real start point to be able to people to build on automation solutions, handling parts, doing vision checks, post-processing applications, whether that's gate cutting or assembly jobs. Lots of opportunities, really.
Now, Andy, this is quite a competitive marketplace, but what do you think Fanuc is giving with this type of technology compared to your competitors?
It's been able to give a single solution, this one Fanuc approach of bringing all our products together, interfacing and giving the customer a turnkey package. That's what customers want, that's what we're capable of doing, and building on that for more complex automation solutions with all our products.
There is other videos coming to our channel where I've actually gone into detail with Andy about this solution, which we shot yesterday. But for the purposes of time, let's just go back round the front, because I do want you to mention, Andrew, about the control technology and some of the things that have changed now here. I know we're not going to be able to get close to it, but maybe you could just highlight where the changes are and what's good about your system.
Yeah, so we've made an upgrade of our machines. We've changed the machine model, and we're now got a high-resolution touchscreen display, 21.5-inch, allows us to bring multiple screens together, interface into peripheral devices, everything through the one control system to make the operator's life really easy in terms of operating the machine, the peripheral equipment, and the communications between the robot and the molding machine, to visualizing everything in one place and having everything available.
So discovering some of the other technology on here, when you look at the digital twin, can you do this on this product as well?
We're not pure digital twin, but we have our own simulation software that allows us to mirror the molding machine, the robot, the automation, to get simulation of what we're trying to achieve. So it's not a pure closed-loop feedback in this application, but in terms of proving everything offline, for sure, and to be able to get rid of any potential clashes, collisions with the robot, and prove everything out with the program before it's installed in the machine.
Now, Andy, I want to just get a couple of words of you about the C400 as well, because Stefan's not around, and we did do an interview with him yesterday, which will talk about the Robo Cut. Will come to our channel about the Robo Cut, because there is an importance between these two machines, isn't there? Okay. Maybe firstly describe what this machine is and where the relationship is.
Yeah. So this is our latest generation of wire EDM machine, so the CIC series. On here, again, we're showing an example of automation, machine tending, but with a collaborative robot, making mold insert parts for the mold that is then used in the RoboShop machine to produce the metal injection molding part. So a complete correlation of the equipment that we use and producing cores and inserts for injection mold tool technology, as well as press tool technology and other applications. So
it's been, this C400 is a new model. I know we spoke to Anthony Biggs in the UK about it recently, but it will be very attractive when it's to tool makers. You know, we see an illustration of a die there. It's going to do well, isn't it, around the world?
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, this machine is surpassing all expectations in demand already this year. We only introduced it back in April this year into the marketplace. And really the uptake is fantastic. You know, improvements on precision, accuracy, speed of cutting, all the important things that metal cutters want to see effectively. And to couple that as well, the important thing, you know, the automation, to have a solution that is allowing you to leave the machine in an unattended operation for significant periods of time now. You know, you can load up, maybe you can leave this running with the wire capacity over the weekend and still have come in on Monday morning with all your production produced.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot more EDM solutions with automation, but you can actually move this around to other machines, can't you?
Yeah, you can. It's a solution that can basically you can use on the wire EDM, you could use it on the Robo Drill product, and really the base unit can stay here, and we can interface and bring in the new work pieces ready for cutting as well. So you can, it's a totally flexible solution. And one that's so easy to program because you can literally move the robot by hand, teach a position, move it by hand, and just bring in a very simple way of programming that a machine tool guy doesn't need to fully understand how to program a 6-axis robot.
Making life easy. Andy, thank you very much for your time. Great to see you.
Thanks, Andy.
I know we'll be seeing you as well in November at the Fanuc UK event, will we?
We will indeed, yes.
Yeah, so there's a bit that we need to make a point about that as well. That's going to be the first time in the UK Fanuc since 2019, is it?
2019, so 2 years ago, Fanuc UK, big open house, so we're pushing the boundaries again. We feel it's the right time to get everybody, and this is more a focus about automation. Where is automation and how can we help people to automate their processes? So real focus, but it will have all our products there. It's one Fanuc solution, CNC, Robo machines, and we look forward to seeing everybody first week in November.
November the 1st to November the 5th. You can register on Fanuc UK's website. We'll be there. Andy will be there, and hopefully hundreds of you will be too.
It's not just about the technology. You like the hospitality as well, don't you? As you can tell.
See you then, Andy. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Andy.
Where do you get your sense of humour from, eh? Okay, now we saw a collaborative robot there working in conjunction with a RoboCut machine. As we work our way down the back side of the stand here, we'll see more Robo Drills. Now, this first Robo Drill is has a collaborative robot on it as well, and the same actual solution that they had on the RoboCut, so you can move it around from machine to machine. Now, this is the one I wanted to pick up on here on the Robo Drill, because I think this is an area where people look at Fanuc Robo Drills and they think they're small. Maybe they don't have the capacity that they need on the milling side, but that's not the case. If you look at this Plus model, this B5 Plus model, you can see the working envelope in here mirrors that of a larger vertical machining centre. And once again, this is being fed with an industrial robot.
I tell you what, Paul, when you look at the concepts that Fanuc have, you wouldn't just buy a standard machine anymore, would you? It has to be automation.
I think the machines are so incredibly quick. They're so, we've discussed already, they can cut all kinds of materials. But, if you put automation with them, you are going to go the extra step when it comes to unmanned running. I think I mentioned earlier that the speed from 0 to 15,000 RPM or 10,000 RPM is 0.18 of a second.
That's so quick, isn't it?
Unbelievable. We may just quickly ask this gentleman here. I was wondering if you could just maybe tell us what's happening here, Marcus. Could you take your mask off maybe?
Yeah, sure. So this is showing our new functionality of machining function within the robot path. So we have now all the necessary parts for 3D machining. So you have the radius offsets. So what you can see here is that the outer edge of the laser circle is always tracing the outer edge of the part you see in the middle. And we have always the same program here that is running. And depending on which tool is called, it will do the radius offset compensation and cut again the outer side. We have also the circular interpolation, where the CNC can now fully control the robot in such a way that you could also do machining with the robot.
Okay, been popular here at the show?
Pardon?
Been popular here at the show? People been interested in it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a completely new function and everybody is looking for it. It was highly sought after, especially here in Italy.
Perfect illustration of Fanuc continuing to evolve. Thank you very much, Marcus.
Thanks, Marcus.
We're now going to try and we're just going to grab this gentleman here because he is a customer. Mark, do you want to just grab him and bring him over? Don't forget the stream. Oh, here he is.
How are you?
Fine.
Now, can you...
May I make a question?
Can you take your mask
we're
off
live
for us?
now.
Do you mind? We're now live. Can you take your mask off?
Okay.
Could you introduce yourself to our audience?
Hi. So I am Alfonso Cerramone. I am the CEO of Applica. Applica is a company in the northeast of Italy, so we are close, Venice, between Austria and Slovenia, so east. We are a small company, but we decided to work with a Fanuc a long time ago, and now we discovered a new solution with the lasers. So more or less 8 years we started to make a laser machine, and I'm very happy and proud to say to you that we have a very important customer of the world, because we have a special types of machines, like a customized machines. We produce a normal laser machine 2D with 1 head, 2 heads, or 3 heads in the same machine. This is the difference from us to the big company that you know the world, the names. And in this year in EMO Milan, I will introduce to you the 5-axis 3D laser machine behind you. So if you want to...
So are you saying that your lasers are actually manufactured with a lot of the Fanuc products?
Yeah, we decide to work with Fanuc because we are a small company. So if you go around the world, you need to have somebody can help you. So Fanuc for us is, insurance, because you are in Italy, our machines are in China or in America. That means if you have some problems, you need to call somebody, and we cannot go in the other side of the world. So work with Fanuc means a big opportunity, because in a 24 hours, they arrive to the customer and they solve the problem. This is the contract that we make in
This is one
together.
point I want to get out before we move on, and it's brilliant to hear such a glowing reference of them. But what happened to you when you were sitting in a boardroom and you were negotiating over the sale? Just tell us that one.
Yeah, we were all together, Fanuc, my partner in America, and my firm, to the company. The Fanuc man was with us, said Fanuc's mission is service first. To represent this, said we respond in the phone in 60 seconds. So he said, if I dial to my phone number, and they said, no, madam, please, can you dial with your phone number? So she dialed the numbers in the phone, and he stops with the clock hand,
the second hand.
The second hand. So it starts 60, 59, 58, so 10 seconds, 50 seconds, 90 seconds, said, Fanuc America, good morning. So that was really, really fantastic, because that means they are immediately ready to support you.
Well, I think it's fantastic technology, and obviously collaborating with Fanuc obviously gives you the opportunity to really sort of expand, I suppose, new products as well. Have you got new lasers that you're launching here?
Yeah, we have a new laser in this ammo. We want to show to you the new one is a 3D, so 5-axis, all Fanuc. That means the CNC Fanucs outside linear motors to move the movements, so the x-axis and the y-axis, and brushless motor for the zeta axis with the brake. And it's completely with a laser source, or oscillator, I don't know how you call it, and behind the machine, the robot. So we are called One Fanuc because we use all Fanucs.
And if I wanted to buy one, would you pick up the phone within 60 seconds?
I can, because we are not in America, we are in Italy.
Nice to see you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for your time.
Show. Great reference. We're getting very close now to the question and answer session, which we'll bring to you shortly. So if you have got any questions about anything you've seen across the stream today, then please tell us now. Get them in the social channel wherever you're watching. This is the last bit of hardware we're going to look at before we go and...
Do you still play with Lego, by the way?
Well, I mean, yeah. What are we seeing here? I suppose this is the ease of a collaborative robot, isn't it? Alberto, if you want to just head this way... we spoke to you earlier. Mark, if you maybe want to come around this side as well so we can get a clear vision of the unit. And Alberto, do you want to just take your mask down for a second and explain what we're doing here? Yep. So what's happening here, Alberto, with this CRX? Because it's a popular unit, this, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. This is the new Fanuc solution for collaborative applications. So, yeah, as you can see, the unit is safe now. So if I just apply a small force, the unit is going to stop. So it's intended to work, let's say...
Do you need to go around that side to make it work at all?
Yep.
Because this is using a pendant. It's very, very intuitive, isn't it? Very easy to use. Maybe walk us through a couple of functions.
Yeah, for sure. So here I can show you the manual guided teaching. So it's the operation based on, let's say, we are able to move the robot manually in the space, just by pressing the dead man button and selecting this option. So as you can see in this mode, all the axes are free of the robot, so I can move it in the space very easily. I can also choose between the translation mode, so it allows me to move the robot in Cartesian movements, then also in rotation. So the robot will rotate around the tool center point.
So what we're really doing here, though, just to get to the bottom of this is to show how easy these are to use, how easy they are to program, and you're encouraging people to try this to move the Lego bits around. Is that your idea?
Exactly, yeah. We have, in this case, also created our own specific instructions that allows us to create a very, let's say, in an easy way, a new program. So the robot is going to pick the pieces from the center and move it all around the working space.
So are you actually sort of teaching, when you say try me, are people coming here to actually try and program this robot by hand? Is that effectively what it's about?
Yeah, also, exactly. So wait a second. So, for example, in case that you would like to make your own program. Yeah. Here, for example, if we would like to make a quick and simple program, I could just have the new instruction here. And let's say that I would like to make a 3 points program. So I create my first point here, second point, let's say here.
So you've got a trigger behind here, isn't there? If you just turn the iPad round, you've got a trigger you're holding on to, aren't you?
Yeah, basically, yeah. So this is a new Photographic Interface for programming. So as you can see, it's all based on icons. So there is no code behind. You just need to choose the instruction that you want, and you just drag and drop the icons on the programming line. So let's say here I want to move to the third point, and then I have a very simple, let's say, 3 program point. So now I would like to execute it here, and the robot is just going to move in my 3 position that I just thought.
And these are doing so well in machine tending, aren't they, in factories where, because you don't have the guarding around them, the health and safety issues are gone, they're easy to integrate. Brilliant illustration of the CRX product. Thank you very much,
Thanks,
Alberto.
Thank you.
So that draws this part of the stream to a close, but if you come back in a few minutes, we will do the question and answer. So if you've got anything you want to know about what you've seen in today's show, then please put the comments or ask us the questions, and wherever you're watching, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever it may be, because we're streaming across all of these platforms. So we'll be back in a few minutes where we'll answer any of your questions. So welcome back. We are now going to take or answer some of the questions that have come in throughout the live stream. We've been streaming now for about an hour. We've seen all the technologies that's here on Fanuc stand at EMO 2021, and I tell you what, it's been a really it's been a hard work hour, but we've seen so much and learnt so much, and I'm sure we're going to learn even more now. And before we get into the Q&As, I just want to introduce two more gentlemen, and perhaps Ralph, you could explain who you are and what you do at Fanuc.
Yes, my name is Ralf Völlinger. I'm responsible for all robotics in Europe.
Okay, and yourself?
My name is Uwe Barnard. I'm the technical head of European Technical Support.
Okay, now let's start by talking about IoT, because we've had quite a few questions come in which we'll get into. Firstly, what is IoT and what does it mean? Maybe you could describe.
IoT means bringing benefits to customer by using digital technologies, by getting data, collecting data, and analyzing data.
So really what you're saying is it's Industry 4?
Yes, definitely.
And what's the advantage to a user with that then? What are they going to do with this information that they gain and garner?
The advantage is the information, the data are there. So we collect them, we give them the tools in the hand to collect the data and to learn finally what the machine is doing, what the process is doing, and find problems and remove them, resolve them.
The key is how to use the data, because as Uwe said, the data is there, and Fanuc developed very smart algorithms really to use the data and take advantage out of it and give an advantage to the end customer.
Is there an example that maybe you could give our audience of something where this has come into play? You know, a company that might have had, I don't know, 6 machines and their efficiency was right down and their tools were breaking, whatever it might be. Is there anything that you could think of, either of you?
Yes, so we are showing one software, for example, MT-Link I. MT-Link I is already several years on the market. End users are using this. They're using it together with Fanuc machines, also with other machines. And we have the statement from such customers that they could improve their productivity by 10% or in this area easily by using this.
And also your system, as I discovered yesterday, is when you look at your stand, for instance, that could be laid out like a typical job shop or machine tool shop, let's say. But the benefit is that you can work with other partners. So, for instance, Mitutoyo has got a CMM, for instance, or they've got a different machine with Siemens, obviously your competitor. It can integrate with that to maximise and optimise the process.
Yes, of course. So one thing is, for example, the application for analyzing data or to bring benefit to customers with partners like Mitutoyo, like SMC as shown here. But also on the other hand, we have the interfaces to connect, as I said, Siemens, others. We are standard interfaces.
Okay, so we've got about 10 minutes left on the stream. We're going to ask a few of the questions that have come in now, but you've still got time to be able to ask your questions if you want to, whether it be on YouTube, LinkedIn, or wherever you're watching this at the moment. I think this comes into a lot of the IoT, but how do you achieve zero downtime on a robot? Who would like to maybe go with that one?
I'll take that one. Well, there's in essence 3 things. First of all, build a reliable robot already. Second thing is have a very good service in Europe. If there should be a downtime, we achieve almost less than 24 hours when we ship the part to the customers. In about 25 hours, the problem is fixed. And the third part, of course, is, as Uwe said before, IoT, Zero Downtime, is a product from Fanuc where we collect data from the robot for preventive maintenance, to monitor, for example, temperature of gears, to tell them there's a problem, do it now instead of waiting so the machine does not break down.
It's quite an important question. It's an important point, isn't it? There's lots of investment at stake, and if things aren't working, that's costly.
The investment is at stake, but the highest cost is always production downtime. You don't produce during that time, and this is our goal, to enable the customers to have the ultimate uptime.
Is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
Excuse me, sorry?
Anything you'd like to add to that?
No. I've said
we covered it all. We covered it all.
Actually, Paul, I'll put you on the spot. Do you know how many robots Fanuc have sold this year so far?
I don't. Tell me.
There is a man that does. No.
Okay, tell us.
Well, this year I cannot disclose, but so far in total globally we have sold over 750,000 robots.
750,000 robots. Wow, if only I had £1 for each one of those. Or a euro, in fact. We've had another question. In fact, we have covered this one in the show, but you guys will answer. The highest payload robot you have. Who wants to answer that one?
Actually, we show it here at the show. It's 2.3 tons.
2.3 tons, so you can pick up yeah. And is that just not just picking it up, obviously moving it 2.3?
Moving around, it's used in all kinds of different applications. Here in the show you see it lifting a car, and especially electric vehicles are very heavy, but 2,300 kilograms is is the strongest robot in the market, and it's also used a lot in logistics, to unload trucks and so forth. It's also used, so it's quite versatile. It can move rather quick, but of course with high payload, and you have valuable stuff on there, you also want to be...
Does it slow it down, the heavier the payload?
Not necessarily, we just have to be careful.
Okay, we have a question from Max Ely. Is it going to be possible to release more servicing information on the controls and systems like Fanuc did in the 90s, especially because machine shops like to support their old machines?
We consider, of course, always to enhance the service of our CNCs, for the new CNCs. We increase the memory, for example, to have operation history data, and the information about the CNC package is stored completely in our production towards the CNC. So the data are there, and we are enhancing this.
Okay, good. Apart from South Africa, do you have any other professional training sites in Africa, especially for Fanuc CNCs?
In the Africas at the moment, it's only South Africa.
Okay, that answers that one. Okay, we also did a poll. I mentioned this earlier. We did a poll. How many people have used Fanuc machines or used a Fanuc machine before, a Fanuc product, I would probably say that is. How many do you think it is have and haven't, in a percentage terms?
I try to understand the question.
I think it depends also on the region, certainly, but because the market share in the US is very high, for example, and our CNC share globally is very high. But looking at the CNC share, I would guesstimate over 60%.
You've been looking at my answers here, Ralph. The answer is actually 67%. The poll said they have, and 33 haven't. QSSR was mentioned earlier on our stream. What does it mean? Who would like to answer that one?
QSSR, quick and simple setup of robotization for machine tools. So this is, let me say, a brand name for a set of functionality we provide to connect robots easily to a Fanuc CNC, to operate robots easily using G-code or robot programming, or use even for machining.
So it's it's trying to simplify things, isn't it? Simplifying the integration, getting everything working.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Digital twin, how does this work, and what actually is it? Now, I know Andy Myhill covered a bit of this earlier, but might not have been seen. Who wants to tell us a little bit more about the digital twin?
Digital twin, it's let me say, a word coming up now in these times, and there are several understandings. For us, in our digital twin concept, is the cooperation between real world CNCs, motors, and digital products, software, simulations on CNC, like CNC Guide 2, for example, or Robo Guide, which exchange data, where you can validate your process, which shall support the customer to get best as possible results on the workpiece.
Is it a little bit similar to the IoT? Do the two work together in a sense?
Not really.
Okay.
So we are using real CNC data, for example, to show the surface of a workpiece. But on the other hand, we can prepare programs virtually and use those data on the real CNC to reach good machining.
Okay.
So it's more the cooperation of, let me say, digital representation of a machine tool and the real machine tools to read finally ideal workpiece.
Yeah. Okay. If you've got any more questions, we are going to be wrapping this feed up in just a few minutes, so make sure you get them in quickly, whether you're on YouTube, LinkedIn, or wherever you are. The differences between the collaborative and the industrial robot in the main, who wants to describe that?
Well, the collaborative robot, in essence, was designed for human interaction, where the industrial robot was designed for really high production volumes and so forth. There's also a difference in the design. We introduced our CRX, as you've seen on the booth, and it is an industrial-grade cobot, I want to say. It's made for also higher speed applications, but it's made for interaction. No safety fences, nothing around it.
when do these two cross over? Because as the cobots become more used in industrial applications, is it more difficult then to select which one to use?
Well, our experience is that in most of the cases where people approach us for collaborative applications, we can actually go cooperative way, using an industrial robot, but have maybe a safety scanner or DCS safety, which is pretty much putting the robot in a virtual cage, which covers most of the applications. But collaborative robots are, of course, very good if you don't want to have safety fences, nothing around it for machine tending applications. The collaborative robots, the typical collaborative robots, lightweight, they're a bit limited in payload. You know, they're the limit. I'd say our strongest really cobot is 35 kilo payload, when we have the largest range. But they're a bit limited. But their advantage is easy setup and lightweight.
Are you selling more collaborative robots than ever before now?
Yes.
Do you think it would ever outstrip the industrial?
No, clear no.
Okay, one more question from Alan Mutero. Any upgrade kits for old Fanuc systems, for instance, replacing cards with USB? Who wants to answer that one?
Good question. For old, no. To say no.
Okay,
simply.
No. But I'm sure he can, if he needs to contact you to find out any more information.
If the ideal way is not only USB, maybe supports better usage of old machines, but maybe a retrofit can be proposed with latest CNC,
Okay.
which is also bringing other benefits than only the part program.
Okay, because Max just, from Max Ely, he just said data was stored on the control. Did you say that? You must have said that, or someone did. Data stored on the control. I'm not quite sure where that thread's going, so we'll probably park that one for now. One final question from me to both of you is, what's your favourite thing here on this stand at EMO? Ralph, let's start with you.
Our new M1000 robot, 1000 kg payload.
Why is that? Give us a reason.
It's a very cool robot. It's very fast. It completes, is an additional step of completion of our product range, so it's a very cool robot.
And yourself?
Of course, the display of our digital twin concept, which you can see here in our FA tunnel, including machine simulation, everything.
Okay, good stuff. What about you?
It's hard, isn't it? When you've got so much product here, it's really difficult to pick one thing out. But one thing I'm seeing is that when you're looking at robots, lots of machines are going to be sold as a complete system now. And I think Fanuc, obviously, one of the pioneers and leaders of this. So, that for me, next door.
I think the One Fanuc message, which is what this has been about, really comes through with everything on this stand. So if you are at EMO this week, then definitely come to Hall 7. And as you walk through the entrance, you will be presented by the yellow, which is what is so synonymous with Fanuc. Now, obviously, this stream will still be live on YouTube, so you will be able to ask more questions on whatever social platform you're engaging with us on, and of course we'll get to answer those in the feeds. But as for now, we're going to draw this stream to a close. I'd like to thank you for watching. I would also like to finish this by saying on November the 1st to November the 5th, Fanuc UK have their open house, which we'll be streaming live at as well. A lot of what you've taken or we've taken from this show will also be in discussion and on view there as well. That's from November the 1st to November the 5th, so you can register on the Fanuc's website, fanuc.eu, and hopefully we will see you there, if not live at the event, maybe live on the channels that we're watching. Just leaves me to say thank you very much for your time, gentlemen, and thank you very much to everyone.
Thank you.
And that's it from us here at MTD CNC. Thanks for watching.